I was very lucky, actually. We had a traffic stop on a guy on 395. Was driving erratic. He pulled over, and I approached the car on the passenger side, and I initially thought that the guy was in need of medical attention. He had blood on his face, he was drooling, he was vomiting, and I kind of looked over in the car a little bit, and I said, "Hey, are you okay?" And he looked at me and he growled, and he said, "Hi," and he had a .45 under his leg, and right as he growled, he grabbed it out and shot me once in the chest. Luckily, I was wearing my body armor, so you could see it hit me right on the chest. It was a dead-on heart shot. The .45 caliber pistol, close range, nicked the corner of my trauma plate. And you can see where the bullet still was able to just punch through a little bit, but it still saved my life. So without this, there's no way I'd be here. It was right on my heart. So big proponent, supporter of body armor. Without it, I wouldn't be here.
You never know when you're going to get that call. You're never going to know when that person approaches you. You're never going to know when you're going to have to go to that residence and you don't know what's behind that door. And when something does start to unfold, it's often too late to go to the trunk of the car and put the vest on. You sort of have to be constantly vigilant and prepared at all times because you just never know what's around the corner. It's sort of part of the risks of the profession. It is dangerous. And I think that that's sort of the reason that officers really need to make it a priority if it's not a sort of mandatory policy. I mean, we encourage all officers to wear their armor every day when they're out because it can save their life. And we see it happen. It saves their lives.
The Bulletproof Vest Partnership Program, better known as the BVP program, was signed into law in 1998, and the first funding awards were made in 1999. Since that time, the program has helped to purchase over 1.2 million protective vests for police officers and officers that work in corrections facilities.
The biggest thing that we run is the compliance testing program. What the compliance testing program does is it uses standards and conformity assessment to essentially add a level of quality assurance to the body armor that law enforcement purchase and use every day.
We transfer a lot of information to talk about the types of body armor, what the expectations are, how to take care of it, what's the maintenance, what's the life expectancy, what to look for, what not to do. What are the different pieces called, what we protect, how we protect it. So we go into a lot of information, and as a third-party, unbiased entity, we can go in and run the tests and we can say, these are the results.
We also have a follow-up inspection testing program, which is called a market surveillance program, where we have inspectors go out on a routine basis, inspect the manufacturing facilities. Everything that's on our list has been tested originally and then undergoes follow-up inspection testing on about an annual basis.
In 2016, the reauthorization language for the BVP program included a new component, and that is that agencies receiving BVP funds should provide their officers with an opportunity to be uniquely fitted for their vests. That means having custom measurements taken. There is a standard for how to take those measurements and also a standard on how the vest should actually fit.
So one of the things we notice about your armor is that it is shaped. So it's contoured here, it has some shape to it. It's not a flat panel like a typical male vest. So it has some shape to fit you even better. And it comes out really nicely on the sides to your arms. And are you comfortable when you get in a shooting stance?
Yes, at the range I have no issues at all.
That's great. So you're getting as much coverage as you can on the sides without it interfering with you doing your job.
Exactly.
Law enforcement officers never know when they're going to be faced with a deadly situation. And officers who wear vests stand a much greater chance of surviving use of deadly force than officers who aren't wearing one.
I start out my shift by putting on my vest, and I keep it on throughout my entire shift. We work a dangerous job, so you never know what you're going to encounter, and I just want to be as protected as possible.
When I got shot, I wasn't expecting it at all. I thought the guy was having a medical emergency, and he shot me on, point blank range, and I asked him if he needed medical help, and he shot me. So it could happen in an instant. I know people that would say, if I'm going to a call, I'll stop and put it on. Put it on when you leave your house and wear it to the end of your shift. It could save your life.